Hello, my name is Putkonen. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm talking about after enlightenment, there are still thoughts and thinking. Now, I would definitely say that thoughts diminish, are substantially reduced upon enlightenment, because there's a whole slew of self-referential, self-reflexive thoughts that are the seed and cause of suffering, and a lot of this stuff just doesn't arise anymore. But in no way would I say thought ceases to arise entirely. I think that near 2005, when awakening happened, I would usually just say, hey, 80% of thought plus falls away. But I've noticed that over the years, thought has continued to diminish. And now I'm thinking probably 95% of the previous thought doesn't arise anymore. The 5% of thought that arises is what's basically necessity, what's needed. Thought becomes a tool. If I am going into a meeting with a manager for an update to find out where we're at with people in process, I'm a recruiter, so I want to see what happened since the interviews. I may review my notes and the system to see who's in process. I may plan what I got to talk about and next steps and things like that. And so a little bit of thought will come in as I'm remembering and planning. But as soon as I'm done, thought tends to just fall away and cease again. I'm not ruminating. I'm not deliberating. I'm not constantly thinking, critiquing, judging, commentating. This does not arise. And so I would say after enlightenment, there is still thought and thinking, but it is substantially reduced. That, I would say, cannot be doubted. I would say, by and large, the normal mode, instead of the normal mode of day-to-day life, is this chattering monkey mind that's going constantly. And that's what most people experience. That's why the terms like monkey mind and mental chatter and things came about, is because it's such a common thing that we've got a label to describe it. But I would say after enlightenment, it's died down. There's no longer this chatter. There's no longer the monkey mind. It's no longer just going constantly. It quiets down to the point where I'm not even particularly labeling anything. There's this automatic mechanism when we look at things to label. And as soon as we label it, we're not really looking at it anymore. We kind of move on. So if you see a tree, it's like you've already labeled it tree and you've moved on. You're not even looking at it anymore. You know what it is. And I would say that doesn't even really occur to me anymore. Most of the time I'm looking and whatever I see is just seen. I'm not even labeling, which is just another layer of critiquing and commentating on the experience. Labeling is just commenting. Oh, well, that's a tree. Oh, that's a chair. Oh, that's a person. And don't need to do that. The day-to-day life is just in the present. And thought can't touch the present. That doesn't mean thought cannot be used when needed. Or for fun. If I'm hanging out with somebody I hadn't seen in years, we might sit around and start ruminating about old stories. And hey, you remember when this, that, and the other thing happened? And it may be quite a bit more thought than usual as you're recalling all the stories from bygone days. But it's for entertainment. It's done for a short while because of the person you're with. And then when you part, you don't think about it anymore. So this will be a pretty short video, but it is definitely after enlightenment, there are still thoughts and thinking. I would just say the frequency, the duration, and the flavor have changed. Much like anger in that sense, where I had a previous video on frustration and anger still remains. The frequency, duration, and flavor change. So, but if you got any questions, comments, please post below. But until next time, thank you much.